She picked money over love, and the bill came due at noon. The day starts bright and ordinary, the kind of sunlight that makes kitchen tiles look cleaner than they are. Ethan packing a lunch with hands that know early mornings and second shifts, while Claire scrolls through a river of lives that are not hers, private jets streaking above turquoise water, wrists that clink with diamonds, lips that never crack with worry. Ethan leans in, kisses her forehead. "I'm close to extra hours," he says, soft and hopeful, and she eyes the past due bill on the fridge and thinks close is still not paid. Breath hitching as if debt itself sits on her chest. He wraps sandwiches in neat foil the way he wraps his promises. Tidy, deliberate, real. And she nods without hearing, putting on lipstick like armor and glancing at a text that flashes a name. She never said out loud at home, Grayson Cole, then flips the phone face down as if hiding a snake under glass. The kettle sings, the coffee steam curls, and the camera of our day pulls back to show a small life trying to stretch into a big one. Because this is where it always begins. One person building slow and steady, one person staring over the fence at a faster lane that seems wide open. By noon, the cafe is a box of sunshine and glass, plants polished by spray bottles, a barista drawing leaves in foam while Claire sits across from a man who has rooms with ceilings taller than her whole apartment. Grayson sliding a card across, marble, matte black, name embossed, promise implied. "You have presence," he says, like he's naming a talent she didn't know was marketable. "Come stand with me at the launch." "Seat!" And Ethan's name lights up her phone again, and she lets it ring itself into silence, because hunger is loud, and opportunity is louder. The city shines behind the glass, and in that mirror she sees a version of herself that doesn't count coins at gas stations. Afternoon pours down the hallway of their place, dust in a sunbeam like glitter from a party they weren't invited to. Claire holding a designer tote with handles that cut into her fingers, the logo so crisp it's practically a siren. Ethan notices. Of course he notices. "That from work?" he asks, careful, like stepping around a glass on the edge of a table. "Perk," she says, mouth tight at the corners. "We don't do strings," he reminds, and she smiles back with a yes that doesn't reach her eyes while her screen burns. A message, "Penthouse at 2, don't be late." And she is already in the elevator in her head, while he stands in the doorway memorizing the shape of the person he loves, so he'll know exactly what's missing if she walks away. The park is green enough to forgive anything. Children laugh, a dog dances at its leash, and two grown-ups sit on a bench pretending they're only talking about money when they're really talking about values. Ethan's hands are clasped and raw around the knuckles. "I'm building something real, it's us," he says, voice a little hoarse from a week of early mornings, and Claire's sunglasses throw back a perfect reflection, a shield she can hide behind. "I'm done clipping." "Coupons," she answers, because it feels better than saying, "I'm scared of never living large." "If you go there," he says, steady now, "I might not be here when it ends." The wind comes through like a witness, and she stands, chin up, heels ticking out a decision. That sounds like a sentence, turns away toward the shimmer without looking back. Because looking back is how you change your mind. Sun hits the penthouse windows like flashbulbs. The city sprawls under glass, as if it were made to be owned. A marble table spreads out papers. NDAs, schedules, a pen that has weight. Grayson pours champagne that sweats in a silver bucket. He doesn't toast, he directs, "Smile, stand near me, be seen, understand?" And she signs. A diamond bracelet slides into her palm, cold and precise, the kind of sparkle that blinks even when your eyes are closed. "Is this love?" breaks out of her before she can stop it. and he tilts his head just enough to put the word back in the box. "Don't mix roles," he says. The skyline keeps grinning, and for a moment she imagines she can grin back forever. But sunlight can be cruel if you're standing in the wrong moment, and at the brasserie, daylight, white tablecloths, phones hovering like dragonflies, Grayson's attention swivels to a newer face, with louder sparkle, and Claire reaches for his sleeve as if the fabric could anchor him. "We should talk," she tries, but he's already dismissed the scene. "We're done." 2 words like a trapdoor, security steps just close enough that everyone else knows the script. Heads tilt, a low electric thrill of public embarrassment crackles. The diamond on her wrist feels heavy, stupid, loud, and when she stumbles into the street, the sun is merciless, no shadows to hide in, car horns snap, a bus sighs, and the contract in her bag says nothing about the thud your heart makes when you realize the upgrade was a rental. The afternoon softens back at the small apartment where Ethan folds clean laundry, because order is the one thing he can control. The light across the floor is warm and honest. Claire stands in the doorway smaller than she did yesterday, mascara ghosting under her eyes. "He used me," she says, voice paper thin. And Ethan doesn't lift his eyes from the t-shirt he squares into perfect corners. "You used me first," he answers. Not to hurt her, but because a truth left unsaid will sour everything else. She nods once, like a student who finally heard the lesson written on the board all along. He sets her ring on the coffee table. Not a slam, not a flourish. A boundary on wood. "I still love you," he admits, and it sounds like a bruise. But love needs air and truth. The fan hums the background music of ordinary life, and if you've ever broken something you meant to protect, you know that hum, the quiet that says you're not kicked out and you're not welcomed back. You are at the threshold of work. Next day, the city has the same sun, but a different taste. She meets an assistant in a building lobby that smells like lilies and disinfectant, and slides the diamond bracelet into a white-gloved hand. "Keep it. I'll keep my name." And it is both too little and exactly right. Recruiters smile until references ring and then their faces close like automatic doors. She sits on a park bench where sprinklers whisper and kids throw their bodies into grass. Calls her mother because there is no algorithm for forgiveness. "I hurt him," she says. And her mother, who once made dinners from 3 ingredients and hope, answers, "Fix you first, then talk." Claire stares at her own hands, sees the line of a small scar from a kitchen knife, remembers that bodies carry what you do and what you refuse to do, breathes in a long square like a lifeguard taught her once, stands with nothing, and decides, finally, to add something. The community kitchen is bright, stainless, loud in a kind way, steam lifting off pots like prayers that don't need words. Claire ties on an apron and doesn't post about it. She chops onions and cries without drama, learns the rhythm of real help, push, scoop, seal, stack, and when Ethan walks in with grocery donations, their eyes meet, and neither one performs. "I'm not here to win you," she says, cheeks hot. "I'm here to earn me." And he nods small because those are the first words that feel heavier than the tote she once carried. They pack meals shoulder to shoulder, quiet as a good song played low. And it isn't a montage. There is sweat. There are cardboard edges that scrape. There are lids that don't fit, and a kid who needs 2 because his brother is homesick. Rebuilding is boring to watch, which is why it works. Days stack. Sunlight repeats, and dignity grows in increments, like savings. Claire takes a basic office gig where no one knows her last name, and it feels like a relief. She bikes to work because the bus eats time, and the bike gives it back. She sends out 5 resumes that tell the truth, and 2 of them answer, she eats dinner with the volunteers on a crate by the loading door, and the food tastes better than penthouse champagne because she can pronounce every ingredient in it. And one afternoon on their old porch steps, she meets Ethan again in that golden hour that flatters nobody who lies. The flag lifts, laundry pops on the line. They don't rush. They don't pose. I'll stay with a friend, she says. Just facts. I'll keep volunteering, find steady work. We check in month by month. And he says, month by month, because love is not a clearance sale, and second chances are not coupons. They are contracts you write in deeds. Meanwhile, Grayson keeps attending launches, and the camera could follow him. But our story won't, because the moral isn't in his schedule. It's in our viewfinder pulling focus back to a person who mistook shine for light, and then learned. The difference? We move through clean daylight as Claire returns a borrowed dress, deletes a contact, blocks a number, lets the algorithm forget her face, doesn't flinch when she passes the brasserie because the sun is for everyone, not a club. We sit with Ethan while he fixes a leaky faucet because he wants the next tenant to have a better day. We watch her apologize without asking to be hugged. We watch him listen without offering terms. And when they do laugh again, it's small and round and lands near their feet like a coin. They both saw drop. No scramble, no scarcity. By the time the season turns, the kitchen tiles look like they always did. Honest and scuffed. There's a new plant in the window that only lives if you water it when you're supposed to. Claire takes off her sunglasses because she trusts the light now. She builds habits the way Ethan builds shelves. Level, checked twice. And on a Sunday that feels earned, they sit on the porch with coffee cupped in both hands, not holding each other hostage with what-ifs, just holding the morning. I thought money would buy a faster life, she says, and he shakes his head, gentle. Money buys mirrors, he says, not hearts. And the camera lifts to catch. The way the day keeps offering itself, the way ordinary shines when you stop asking it to be a billboard, the way 2 people can fail and still choose, slowly, carefully, repeatedly, to be better than their worst moment. And if you came here for the dramatic ending, here it is, the only one that lasts. Not a ring slipped back on a finger under fireworks, not a key turning in a lock like a drum roll, but a calendar with small circles around days they'll talk, a savings jar with real weight, a phone that lights up with schedules, not temptations, a bracelet that never returns because it never belonged, and the bright, reliable truth that when you chase glitter, you find shadows, but when you learn to build, inch by inch, bill by bill, shift by shift, you make light that doesn't blink when someone else looks shinier. She picked money over love once, and the bill came due, and she paid it in full. Then she paid herself in work, in honesty, in slow days that turn into good years. And if you're listening for a sound to end on, listen to sunlight on a kitchen floor, to a knife on a cutting board, to 2 voices choosing dignity month by month, the quiet music of a life rebuilt where the camera doesn't need filters because the truth finally looks good on skin.